Hey everybody, this is Joseph Pasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to the On the Mat Wrestling Show with Jimmy Korderas, one half of Huge Pop Wrestling. Donnie is away. We won't say where he is, all right? We won't say where he is, but, I gave him a headlock last time at Super Kick, and something happened with cauliflower ears or whatever, so, we won't do it. But are you excited for a first ever two-night SummerSlam, Jimmy?
Yeah, they're getting me more excited with this, with every show. I'm actually excited. The 2-day format, I'm curious to see how that's going to work out for SummerSlam. It's been pretty much a success from a business standpoint for WWE, and this looks like it's going to be a success too. It looks like they're going to get in excess of, from what I'm seeing online, close to almost 100,000 people for the 2 nights, which is pretty good business.
I think it's going to be a little bit more, but also don't forget this card, the premier live event instead of a pay-per-view. Premier live event starts at 6:00 with the pre-show starting at 3. Jimmy, 3 and 6. Do you know any idea why they started at 6? We're used to 7. Then they go back to 8. Now that's 6.
I don't know why. I can't give a specific reason why they're thinking, but I like the idea of putting it at 6 because WWE doesn't have elongated pay-per-views like other companies do. They don't do 6-hour pay-per-views, 5-hour pay-per-views. Theirs are very tight. They're very time sensitive. They usually try to keep it around 3. With this one having a few more matches than their normal PLEs, I think it might go a little bit more than 3, maybe 3.5. But that way it's still, if you think about it, Saturday night.
Yeah.
If you want to go out and have some fun, you still have time to do that. And on Sunday, starting at 6:00, it's not too late for those that have to get up early and go to work the next morning.
Yeah, well, we don't because it's actually civic holiday on Monday.
Oh, that's right.
I have to remind you this.
So you got to remind me about this stuff sometimes, Joe.
I'm trying to make it Jim Korderas Day, okay? So that's, since I'm the president of the province of Canada, all right? Okay, let's go to the card here. This should be another good bout. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. And Scarlett will be there. But who do you call in that one?
This is going to be another good match. You got 2 guys that could really go, and Sammy is the best at a babyface who fights from underneath and fights from adversity. But then this one, Karrion Kross, we talk a lot about guys can get over without going over. They don't need to win. In this one here, I think Karrion Kross does need to win.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with Karrion Kross.
I agree here. Now for the tag team titles, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez versus... They don't like each other. Or maybe they do. Who knows? Charlotte Flair and Alexa.
They seem to be getting along a lot better lately. And, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't on board with this team at first. When Charlotte and Alexa started tagging, I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know if it's going to work. But they've got me invested. I'm starting to like them more and more every week. And we're seeing a different personality in Charlotte Flair. She seems to be having fun again.
Yes.
And I'm not just saying that from a character standpoint. I'm talking about she genuinely looks like she's having fun again. And I would love to see a title change, but I think it's too soon for them. But at the same time, I don't want to see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss split up just yet either, if that's in the cards, if that's going to happen down the road. That being said, I think something is going to happen. I don't want to predict a title change here because I also like the team of Raquel Perez and Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. I think they're really good and work well together. And there's something in the future there. I like the fact that the Judgment Day are surrounding themselves with titles.
Yes.
Everybody in Judgment Day has a title now, so I don't want to see that go away yet. So I'm going to pick the heels in this one. I'm going to pick Judgment Day.
This is, for me, it's a toss-up because you hear little birdies saying Alexa Bliss. I mean, what's Liv Morgan? Liv Morgan coming out, and Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, and Finn Balor scheming and all that. So, but I agree with you 100%. I think it's too early, and I think if they're going to keep this Roxanne Perez and Rodriguez, they should, do a little bit of Spanish there. They're both Spanish. It's in New York, and Damien Priest is there and everything like that. They should do a little more Spanish. But I agree, it's a toss up, and I think it's too early to take the titles off them.
Right.
So there you go. Now another tag team match, and yes, Drew McIntyre will be at SummerSlam because Logan Paul took his private jet and brought. Never mind. All right, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Now, I know Jelly Roll lost, I think, 80, 90, 100 pounds. The key is, I think, Jelly Roll, and when you got Jelly Roll, you're not going to make him lose. All right? The key is how good is he going to be? Because, Logan Paul, every match, he steals the show.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is going to be interesting. Jelly Roll, like you said, did drop a ton of weight for this. He's working really hard, and he's really, really putting a lot of effort into this. He doesn't want to look bad because you see people like a Logan Paul. This guy has no business being as good as he is for the amount of time he's been in the ring. This guy is ridiculously good, and he gets it. Not just the fact that he can do a lot of stuff. He gets the psychology of being a heel and knows and doesn't mind, because a heel has to have no redeeming qualities. And when you watch Logan Paul, he has none. That being said, like you said, Jelly Roll and Randy Orton, I think, are going over in this one in some form or fashion. And I think it's going to set up something with Randy and Drew. I think Randy and Drew are destined to be facing each other, which you can sign me up for all day long.
Exactly. Now, let's get to the WWE Ladies Championship. Tiffy time against Jade Cargill. Also, my only question is it too early to take off the belt from Tiffy?
If you talk about time-wise, yes. But, the Tiffy is not working for me right now because I can't grasp whether she's a heel or a baby face. She's supposed to be a baby face, but every promo she cuts, she sounds like an annoying heel.
Yeah.
Donnie always says it, and I might have to agree with them. I don't think she knows how to be a baby face. And she still needs some work. I think she gets inside her own head sometimes when she's in the ring. And Jade Cargill is showing improvement. Nobody's saying that she's on Charlotte's level as far as in ring goes, but she's showing improvement, and she's got a great look. And I think there's an opportunity here to create a very dominant female champion. So I'm going to go with the upset here. I don't know if it is an upset, but I'm going to say Jade Cargill.
Does that mean Jade will take on Stephanie McCure at the next PLE in Paris? So that way, I don't know, because that way it looks like they're gearing Stephanie McCure to win the title. But if we talk about, is it too early to take off Tiffy? It won't be too early to take off from Jade. So right. I don't know.
If that's the route they're taking, then obviously Tiffy should retain in this one. If they're thinking of putting the title on Stephanie in Paris, it's just a matter of how do you get around that. Who plays a factor in here that causes Jade to lose? That sort of stuff.
Yeah. All right. So the next one, maybe the main event, maybe not. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Really on Monday did a number on Roman and Jey. But the question is, are they going to plan something big here with Rikishi coming out, with Jimmy coming out, with another bloodline, or is it OTC line number 2 in there? What do you expect in this one?
This one's going to be good, and I'm looking forward to this one. I'm curious to see how they handle this. I don't want to see anybody else in this involved other than the players involved.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anybody else. I don't want to see a bloodline member. I don't want to see Rikishi. I don't mind seeing Rikishi to say hello and have maybe a pop with him, but I don't want to see him involved in this match. Let's put it that way. What they did on Monday was they built up so much heat for this match. That's what you needed. That's what was needed here. And both Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker needed to step out of the shadow of Seth Rollins in this group, in this faction, if you want to call it that, or the new dangerous alliance, whatever they're going to call this group.
Yep.
And they did exactly that, with Braun Breaker actually directing traffic. I like this. I like where it's going. And you're right. The star power in this one now, they could definitely main event, but there is a match that I think should main event.
And all you talk about how they did it on Monday. The key factor to me was him stealing Roman Reigns' shoes.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of this, that this was a thing.
This was a thing.
Somebody had to explain it to me, and I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. Apparently the people there got it because they got the reaction, the desired reaction from the live crowd.
Yeah, so it's definitely, it should be. But for me, I think Roman and Jay, and I think Jimmy's going to come out, but I think they're going to prevail. Now you talk about what's probably going to be the main event, because CM Punk main evented night one WrestleMania. He main events night one of SummerSlam. CM Punk versus Gunther for the title. Does CM Punk win and then lose to some visionary?
I say no.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are expecting a potential cash in here. I believe it is not happening. I know there's a lot of questions online. There's a lot of people saying that the Seth Rollins injury is not what it is, what it looks like. Some are saying it was a planned angle. Some are saying it's not. He's not as injured as first expected, and I'm of the belief that it is an injury. And I will say this, because a lot of people are expecting a cash in here. Everybody's talking about it, that this is a big ruse, and everybody's going to be surprised that there's going to be this huge cash in by Seth Rollins, the heist of the century. Let me put it this way. Let me paint this scenario for you, and let me tell me what you think, Joe.
Okay.
Gunther and Punk have a grueling match. They're going to have a hell of a banger, as the kids call it today.
Yep.
Going into the finish, let's say they're both beaten down. Punk manages to hit the GTS, the go to sleep. They're both down selling. As Punk starts crawling over to cover, or as they're both down selling, Seth Rollins' music hits. Punk crawls up the rope and he's looking down the entranceway, waiting for Seth, but there's no Seth. Gunther sneaks in behind him, puts on that choke, chokes him out. Gunther retains.
I like it.
Now, what you're doing is you're making the people think they're smart by saying, I knew he was going to cash in. I knew he wasn't hurt. And guess what? He doesn't show up. And in this way, even though you don't see Seth Rollins, he still cost CM Punk the match.
And then you have to have a rematch
down the line.
Yep. So that I like it. And if the next PLE is in Paris, what better way to have him then cash in Paris?
In front of that hot crowd. Hey,
who knows that? But that's night one of SummerSlam happening this Saturday. Again, the pre-show starts at 3. The event starts at 6. Hopefully it will be, let's say, 4 hours, and that's it. But Jimmy, tell everybody where they can see you and hear you and your social media.
Yeah, you can see me here talking to you, Joe, and you can see me on and hear me on Huge Pop Radio with Donnie De Silva every week. This week we spoke to Jacques Rougeau, and he reflected on the memory of Hulk Hogan and his friendship with Hulk Hogan. I think you're going to like listening to that. And also on all my social media platforms, at Jimmy Korderas on Twitter, at Real Jimmy Korderas on Instagram, my little ref and rants from Monday to Friday, just my little critiques here and there that I think could help elevate instead of deflate.
All right, and Jimmy will be back here to preview night 2. Thanks a lot, Jimmy.
No problem, Joe.